Welcome to Halton News. It's Friday, June 12th, and I'm Jessica Kading. There is one additional active case of COVID-19 here in Halton since yesterday, bringing our total number of active cases across the region to 91. Burlington currently represents 11 of those cases. Oakville has 33, Milton 11, and Halton Hills now has only 6 active cases. With 5 additional recoveries since yesterday, it looks like things are still moving in the right direction. Even with these low numbers, the region has been excluded from moving into phase 2 of reopening the economy. Halton Regional Chair Gary Carr, along with all 4 mayors in Halton, have appealed to Premier Doug Ford to reconsider this, as they believe we're ready and have met the requirements for phase 2. We have yet to hear back from the province on this, but we hope for an update early next week. There was a large police presence this morning in Burl Oak Waterfront Park when a man's body was found in Lake Ontario. Halton Regional Police are still investigating. Anyone with information is asked to call police at 905-825-4747, or you can call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. Police are also investigating after a racial slur was shouted at young girls who were rollerblading down a street in Burlington. We're going to show a short portion of that video here, but we've bleeped out the offensive language and shortened the clip to protect the identities of the girls, who appear to be under the age of 18. The mayor of Burlington, Marianne Mead Ward, says she's aware of the video and that Halton police are investigating. She adds that racism has absolutely no place here. We all need to listen, learn, and take action together to end systemic racism. I also spoke with Burlington MP Karina Gould about this earlier today.
So first of all, I think the video that we all saw was very disturbing and upsetting for a lot of people in Burlington. No less, the girl who was the target of it. And I think we need to be very clear that there's no space for racism in our community. But we also need to recognize that, unfortunately, it still does exist. And I think part of it is that we need to understand that racism is present. And we need to work every single day to listen, to learn, to have tough conversations, and to engage with others who hold different views and different perspectives to really try to get to the root of it, but also ultimately eliminate it. And I think for a lot of people in Burlington, it's not our daily experience. But that's part of the privilege of not necessarily being a racialized person. But for racialized people in Burlington, they experience it quite often. And I can say that as a member of parliament, I've heard some pretty awful things in my time directed at actions that the government has taken or the communities that we've supported and the things that we've done to try to promote a more inclusive country. And I can say that personally, I try to engage with those individuals. I try to call them and have conversations and to develop a sense of empathy amongst them as well, because recognize, the things that they're saying or the things that they're writing are targeted at people, at humans, right? Who ultimately are human just like all of us, and who have people that love them and who have there's no reason for them to be the target of this kind of behavior. And, I've been speaking to a number of leaders, people of color in our community over the past couple of weeks, and trying to think about what else we need to be doing to address issues of racism here in Burlington and across Canada. And I think the first thing is to recognize that racism exists. And then we need to think about, okay, how do we keep this conversation going? How do we meet people where they are? And how do we encourage them to see people as just that, and not see skin color and not see, different religions, but to see that we all live in this community and we all want to be able to live in it safely and freely and without fear of, being attacked because of the color of our skin. And so, for me, this incident just highlights that we still have a lot of work to do, but I'm very committed to doing that work and to keep having these conversations and to keep engaging to really fight racism here in Burlington and right across the country.
Sheridan College has released a statement today in response to the over 90 comments they received on one of their Instagram posts pointing to issues of systemic racism at the school. Sheridan College says that they're taking immediate action against racism, and their statement reads in part, that Sheridan recognizes that recent events are products of decades of systemic, structural, and institutional failures, including our own. As a community of educators, learners, researchers, and leaders, we are all accountable for addressing and preventing racism, racial inequality, and injustice in our communities, on our campuses, and in our classrooms. To read their full statement, please visit SheridanCollege.ca and look under Latest News. They also have a link to their statement on their Instagram today. As Oakville prepared for their second anti-racism march this weekend, Halton Hills will be hosting one as well. We spoke with Mayor Rick Bennett this morning for those details.
Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock, we're going to have a march from the Halton Hills Alliance for Change in Society. And they are organizing it, and it's in support of what they call BIPOC. Black Indigenous People of Color. That's what it stands for, and it's going to be leaving at Bull Master Sportsplex at 2 o'clock. Wells Street is going to be shut down. They're going to go off one end of Wells Street. They're going to turn around at Maple Avenue and head back. And it's we work with our staff, and it's going to be a peaceful protest against different happenings. Peaceful protests against systemic racism. And as I said the other day, there's racism right across Canada. We have here systemic racism, so it's time to speak out. I like to think that our community is against racism. That's not enough. That we're not racist. It's more important to say we are anti-racist.
Nurses across the province, it seems, have had enough. With COVID-19 making their work even more dangerous, thousands of nurses have taken to social media to show their frustration about a pay raise that they say is like a slap in the face. Melissa Candelaria has that story.
We're going to be there. We're going to do our jobs. We've been doing our jobs for the last 3 months. We just want some consideration for what we've been put through. I'm sorry. It just really hurts.
Moved to tears, registered nurse Laura Holmes is frustrated with the Ontario government over a bill that gave them a raise she says makes her and nurses across the province feel worthless. That bill is Bill 124, which Holmes says controls the pay raises for public employees.
What has ended up happening, though, is, from my perspective, is the only people that have gotten affected by it hard, where the pay raise and the benefits combined are 1%, are the nurses. Our pay raise was, in order to take into consideration the additional costs of the benefits because of the pay raise, they went and dropped our pay raise to 0.938 to make sure that they wouldn't go over the 1% that is identified in this bill that was passed in 2019.
Now with COVID-19, the work nurses have to do has become more dangerous. Motivated to do something, Holmes created the Ontario Nurses for Protest Facebook page that has seen almost 15,000 members join in just 3 days, and with more expected to sign up. Holmes says they are hoping this will inspire the government to make a change.
I understand that the bill was put in before COVID happened, but the government has a clause in there that they can exempt professionals from this bill. And I just think, considering the circumstances of the COVID, what we're doing, the sacrifices we're making, that if there's ever a time where somebody actually deserves to have an exemption to it, I think we've earned it. I myself, I get my son in his bedroom. He's 18, so he's older. I take my shoes off at the door. I literally run straight to the laundry, strip down naked, put all my clothes in the washer on hot with bleach. I've got some uniforms that are pretty colors from the bleach. Run upstairs completely naked and go into the shower as hot as I can and scrub down so that I don't end up infecting my son. It's like incredibly stressful right now, and everybody is just trying to do the very best they can. But it's like, that was just, if there was ever anything that felt like a kick in the stomach, a punch in the mouth, that pretty much did it.
Beyond the Facebook page, a protest in front of Queen's Park is in the works for next week. Holmes says they are trying to plan this so they follow social gathering rules and make sure it's done safely.
We're still trying to see if we can make this work, but we're hoping that we can maneuver something so that we can be at Queen's Park or on the sidewalks around Queen's Park, separated with face masks and protective equipment, and be there and just to let the public know that we need your help and we need you to help us get the message through to Doug Ford that, the fact that, nurses have died from this, and we go into work not knowing if we're going to come out sick, and that's kind of worth more than 0.938.
Reporting for Halton News, I'm Melissa Candelaria.
If you're a foodie, you'll want to take a look at a new Facebook group called Burlington, Ontario Restaurants Takeout and Delivery that was created when restaurants had to go close their doors about 3 months ago. Let's take a look.
How do you support local restaurants when their dining rooms are forced to close during a pandemic? Trevor Puchinik created a Facebook group that has grown to 12,000 members in Burlington.
The group that I've created and the whole community is embraced. I never would have expected this to happen at all. Like, I literally was sitting, my wife and my son were watching TV, and I was sitting on my computer putting around. And as soon as I heard that the restaurants were all going to have to close, or their dining rooms at least, I'm like, oh my God, they're in so much trouble.
He reached out to the 350 restaurants in Burlington and created a group to highlight hidden gems and direct people to restaurants open for curbside pickup and delivery. But since then, it has become much more.
It's just created this beautiful marketplace where you can ask. It's like asking 12,000 friends, where should I eat tonight? We'll say, hey, where can I get butter tarts? And then within an hour, there's like 70 posts about butter tarts, and it's created a map of where the butter tarts are in the city.
Local businesses are definitely feeling the love.
A semi-professional photographer took pictures of Saving Time's key lime pie. So I happened to go in there on Sunday, and they said, oh, we're not posting on your group because we're already busy as we are, and we don't want to get swamped. But then this person posted a picture of the key lime pie, and they had 19 orders the next day for key lime pie.
With Halton still in stage 1 of recovery, Puchinik is missing one of his favorite patios.
On my walk last week, it was like 10 o'clock at night. It was like 24 or 25 degrees. It was a beautiful night. And I actually took a picture of Beer Town and posted it. And I said how sad it made me. Because sorry, I get emotional for a second there. But you got so many restaurants that are beautiful places where you should be, laughing with your friends and sitting there. And it's very sad.
Puchinik's friends were inspired, and as a result, they've started similar groups in Oakville, Hamilton, London, and Guelph.
That's why we have 5, because of the generosity of the people that, we know that, they want their community to be, rich and have the restaurants they love, still be there just like we do, right? So I'm very, very pleased that all these little gems across the city are getting a voice, and it's just very rewarding for us. Yeah.
Reporting for Halton News, I'm Nikki Wesley.
Thanks for being with us here on Halton News. We do need to take a short break, but we'll be back with a local psychiatrist with tips on how to boost your self-esteem. Stay with us. Welcome back to Halton News. Self-esteem, do you have it? Dr. Bhattacharya says it's important for your sense of well-being.
Hi, this is Dr. Ashik Bhattacharya from the Empathy Clinic, speaking today during the pandemic crisis. Today I'm going to talk about self-esteem. Self-esteem is a very important part of our psychological well-being. It's kind of like oxygen. We need to get it all the time from ourselves, but also from other people. Self-esteem is all the accomplishments and good experiences and wonderful moments that help you feel good about yourself, especially when you're feeling isolated or feeling lonely. Now, how do we get self-esteem? Well, we get self-esteem when we feel good about something we've done and other people tell us the same thing. And that's when we feel good about ourselves, and that's when we add to our self-esteem. So it's really important to look after our self-esteem, but also to make sure that we're telling other people that they're doing a good job, especially when they are. So some people have trouble with that. And what I use is the submarine example. So when a submarine is submerged underwater, it has to have compartments so it doesn't get flooded. If it doesn't have compartments, then the whole submarine can be in trouble. So when we're trying to have positive self-esteem, it's important that we don't get flooded, especially if we're feeling negative about something. It's also important not to flood somebody else so that they're feeling negative too. So it's important to protect your self-esteem, compartmentalize it, look after yourself, and look after the people around you. Be safe. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.
Here's a shot of some people enjoying a picnic in the beautiful weather we've been having lately in one of our many Halton parks. Taking a look now at our forecast, the weekend ahead looks beautiful. Full sunshine, in fact, for our entire 5-day forecast. Cooler temperatures, though, this weekend than we've had lately. 18 is our high on Saturday, comes with a mix of sun and clouds. Those clouds will clear and we'll have full sunshine for 3 days straight. Increasing in temperature, Sunday's high will only be 19, up to 22 Monday, 26 Tuesday, and then right back up to what we've become accustomed to this past week, 28 degrees on Wednesday. That comes with a mix of sun and cloud. The Milton Chamber of Commerce is presenting a webinar on reopening after COVID-19, health and safety considerations, and PPE sourcing. As businesses prepare to re-emerge from isolation and shut down, there are many issues and challenges to consider. Join this webinar to discuss how to re-establish your operations while ensuring the health and safety of staff, customers, and the general public. Also, find more about sourcing and access to PPE supplies and all that you might need for those employees. This webinar is free for members and will take place at 9:30 Thursday morning. The Milton Young Professionals of the Milton Chamber of Commerce are hosting a webinar next week called Dare to Care: How Paramount Fine Foods Changed to Survive the Pandemic and Help the Community. Join to learn about the strategies and lessons learned during the pandemic. This online meeting is free to attend. You can visit the Milton Chamber website and click Events for those details. And now a look to how the markets closed out today. Still ahead, we have Mayor Gordon Krantz in a light you've probably never seen him in. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us here on Halton News. I'm Jessica Kading. The Burlington Food Bank wants to make sure that you know they have a lot of food, so you don't need to hesitate. If you need help, they want you to reach out. We'll turn it over to the director for more.
Hi, this is Robin Bailey, the Executive Director of the Burlington Food Bank, and we just wanted to share with people a couple of the stories of people who've been giving us calls lately. Yesterday we got a call from a client who didn't know we were doing delivery till they saw the bus shelter ad. So again, a thank you to Pattison for helping us out with that and being able to sort of share that news that we're available. When she called, she was actually blown away and started crying, just so thankful that the community of Burlington cares so much for her, and that we at the Burlington Food Bank get to be the sort of hands and feet of that we get to share that with people. So we really appreciate all of those people who've been donors of ours and supporting us, whether it be with food or with finances. And again, she then went and got a neighbor and let her know as well. And so the neighbor is also getting assistance today with us being able to drop off food for them. So again, you're helping more and more people. And we want people to know that we're not going to be asking you about your finances to see if you qualify or not. If you need help, we're here to help you out. And we've had such great support from the community that we're able to do that for you no matter what. And again, it's the weekend. make sure you're staying safe, make sure you're wearing masks, and making sure that you're practicing the physical distancing, just to make sure that we're all trying to stay safe and make sure that we kind of keep this curve nice and flat and safe.
Food for Thought is another organization in our region, and Mayor Gord Krantz has more for you on a webinar, and he's coming to you from a garden.
Good day, I'm Gord Krantz, Mayor of the town of Milton, and we're promoting a webinar for food, Halton Food for Thought. And again, I'm in my own garden here today, as you can see, working a little bit, and behind me is a great grapevine as well. So I would promote anybody that can to grow their own food. Or if you grow your own food and have plenty, make sure that you give it to people that need it. Thank you very much.
The YMCA of Oakville is responding to the needs of our community by hosting a wellness product drive. The goal is to assemble 300 wellness kits from the donated items that will be delivered to youth out of care, isolated seniors, individuals and families living in low-income neighborhoods, and homeless shelters. Items they need include shampoo and conditioner, soap, toothpaste, masks, sanitizer, gloves, and deodorant. To donate, pull up into designated contactless curbside drop-off areas at the YMCA, pop open your trunk and stay in your vehicle. A volunteer will retrieve the wellness products you wish to donate. The volunteers will deliver these items to the community partners to get them in the hands of the people in our community who need them the most. The YMCA of Oakville is hosting a live virtual Move for Kids Day event on Sunday, June 28th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. as part of their annual Strong Kids fundraising campaign. The live broadcast will happen on Zoom at scheduled times during the day and will feature staff from the YMCA of Oakville community. While the Move for Kids event is free to join and participate in, the YMCA of Oakville needs your help to ensure that they can reopen, so they do ask that you consider donating. Their goal is to raise $10,000. The Goodwill Career Center is hosting a virtual workshop about getting a job during a pandemic. The workshop takes place on Tuesday, June 16th from 10 a.m. until noon. The Goodwill Career Center is located at 3505 Upper Middle Road in Burlington. There's no cost, but you do need to register by today. For more information, you better call 905-633-8324. I'd like to thank you so much for tuning in. We do have our weekend edition for you available, and then we'll be back live Monday at 5:30. For more information and content, visit YourTV.tv and follow us on social media at YourTV Halton. For Halton News, I'm Jessica Kading.